Hello, and hello everyone. Feels like 4 fucking hellos, you're welcome. Dating and development here, if you know who I am. Welcome. A warm welcome to you all. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. And I hope you're okay wherever you are. In Ireland it is quite dreary, it is cold, I'm tired, so if you hear me taking breaks during this video, it's just me drinking coffee to warm myself up before I work out at home. Also, this video is going to be a different style, really, compared to the other videos I do, in the fact that the month that's in it, the month of November. Now, for all my fellow brothers, it is No Nut November, and if you are doing well on that, I salute you all, and I hope you haven't shaken the chicken and creamed the crops. Hell yeah. But keep going, and I hope those gamer girls are helping you too. Anyways, it's also Movember, and this is a month where in Ireland, and possibly around the world too, but it's very big in Ireland, where we really advocate for men's mental health and, well, mental health in general, but specifically men's mental health. And when it comes to, like, self-deletion, and when you've got the badness downstairs by that gland. I don't know if I can say that phrase. I really hate dancing around words. I wish it was a lot more freer in how I could speak. But yeah, and I've done a few videos about mental health in Ireland and statistics when it comes to self-deletion and everything else, hoping that will get my audience from how would I say, broader society in other countries, a sense of how it is in Ireland also. So what I want to do in this one is to discuss my story when it comes to mental health, because even though it comes across to me like, oh wow, D&D's got his stuff together kind of thing, it's not always easy, guys and gals. It's not always easy, and it has never always been easy. And to this day, is it easy? It's easier, but doesn't mean it's smooth sailing, because there's always going to be bumps on the road. As Bruce Lee says and said, do not pray for an easy life. Pray for strength for a hard one. Something along those lines. I probably butchered up that quote of fuck, but look, that's a general gist of it. If you have a hard life, pray for strength. You need the strength. Strength builds character. Trials and tribulations builds character. Toughens you up. But anyways, my mental health really has been, or was, all over the place for ages. When I was a when I was a little grown boy, when I was a boy, didn't have many friends. I had one really good friend, and he's my best friend today. And the thing is, what I find with male friends is that you can go a whole year without talking to each other really, and then you catch up, and you can catch up in a year in about an hour or two talking, and it's like nothing's changed, just carry on where we left off. Even though he lives an hour and a half away from me, an hour max maybe, for all you ASMR people out there, I hope you enjoy those tingles. You don't really keep in contact much, but if we were to see each other, things would be picked up again straight away from where we left off. But we can't really see each other because of the lockdown in Ireland at the moment. Carrying on, and growing up, it wasn't extremely easy. Struggling for money was a big thing. That didn't have many friends. I was really surrounded a lot by sickness, and then death. Unfortunately, when my father passed away when I was 12, so I'm 25 now, so that was about 13 years ago. About to come to 13 years ago now, and that kind of got me in a wrong place, but I didn't know it yet. It was like it planted the seeds of things that were going to transpire, and things that I had to take acceptance for, that I couldn't comprehend yet. And I'd get more into that in a bit. I'm growing up, even though my mother did a fantastic job for myself and my other siblings that she was a fantastic role model, an absolute great woman, and she still is to this day. But I didn't have that male role model growing up in the family household. My best friend, who I aforementioned, even though he's only a year older than me, I saw him as a fatherly kind of brother figure. Like, he was my male role model. And the thing is that because I didn't have that male role model at a young age, I kind of really took to video games to have some sort of male role model, because, you know, not being quite a shy person, should I say. You know, I did talk to people, but making friends kind of a hard thing, because I was fairly overweight when I was younger too. I think my heaviest was about 15 stone when I was about 5'7" in or around. It's quite heavy, like, but I lost all that though. Anyways, carrying on. That, and it came to like games from like Kingdom Hearts, like, it's a game, even though I said that's a children's game. Yeah, it is a children's game, but looking at some themes in it, it's really fucking dark. It can be really dark. Not that you can see because you have the light on, but it's like I really took a lot from Sora, so to speak, when I was growing up, and a lot of the characteristics and traits he embodied, I tried to embody in myself. And then as I kind of growing up, it was kind of like, you know, Leon from Resident Evil 4, you know, a cool guy, you know, with the crappy one-liners, but they're gold at the same time. And then it came to like Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. I got that game when I was 13 for the Nintendo Wii, and I was like, oh Jesus, this guy's badass, I like that guy. I'm gonna stop swearing now. But you know, I kind of tried to embody some of their characteristics into myself, and it kind of worked. It kind of worked because they taught me a lot on how to kind of be a good person. That I suppose Travis Touchdown, not so much really, but it's kind of more like his confidence and his arrogance and his brashness. Is that a word? I don't fucking know, but anyways. Oh yeah, all those ASMR people enjoyed that sip. Carrying on. And then as time went on in secondary school, you know, it was okay, my mental health. Like, I was at a fairly alright place, you know, I did well, I got into college and everything else. But once I got into my first year of college, it really started going downhill. Because as a person, you know, nowadays I could adapt easily to change, but back then, you know, change was alright. It was getting away from home, but it was so much newness to everything. Everything was such a novelty. You know, I come from like a small urban town in the middle of Ireland to like the capital city of Dublin, and it's kind of hard to, you know, solidify myself in a new place in that. I made friends for a bit, but they didn't feel like true friends at the time, and I kind of felt alone as well. And the worst thing was I was getting bullied for really no apparent reason, just kind of, you know, those kind of lads being whatever you want to say the word might be. I couldn't stand up for myself, so I just didn't have the confidence to stand up for myself. And there were times where I was kind of like, you know, was seriously questioning myself as a person. Like, it was like my self-confidence kept getting bet. I wasn't eating properly. Like, I was working out a lot. And, you know, a lot of the times I spent to myself, like, at times I was in tears. I admit it. Times, you know, I was not in a good place. And I nearly wanted to off myself in first year. It's like, look, I can't do this anymore. Like, it just seemed a lot better just to throw in the towel, call it quits, and, you know, hey ho presto, he's gone, good luck, take care, everyone else be happier. And that was always my mindset, was that everyone will be happier. And there are times I was just lying in bed, it's like, I can't do this. I honestly just want to stay here and not get up. But I just try to I forced myself to get up. It's like, look, you have to get into college. Like, you have to attend these lectures. They do roll calls. That was the kind of college I went to. Like, you have to go. You have to get in there. And I kept trudging on. I put on a brave face and just kept pushing on and pushing on and pushing on. And second year was fine. So, I kind of got into a relationship in my final 3 years of college. And the girl with lovely girl. And whoever gets with her next, enjoy each other's company. I'd be very happy for you. I know you don't listen to this, but I'd be very happy for you. And third year then is where the anxiety creeped in to the max. I don't know how it started. I do not know where the anxiety came from. Either the first time where I had a panic attack, and like a panic attack is just, it's just going into like a fit of emotions, like that severe level of being scared, like you just can't control yourself. It's like paralyzing with fear. Like, it's just the tears are flowing out and everything. And there was one dream I had, and it was so realistic. And I woke up, and I was in a panic attack. And I found it extremely hard to get back to sleep. And I had exams that week, because it was coming towards my end of my second year of college. Do not know what was going on, and I realized later on what it was, and it was a scarcity mindset carrying on. And in third year, just the anxiety got worse and worse, and I didn't know what was going on. I don't know why, and it was debilitating, because there'd be nights I'd be absolutely sleepless. My mind is racing with all these thoughts. You're not good enough. Like, why are these people like you? Oh, they don't like you. Why is your girlfriend with you? Why is she seeing you? She probably sees nothing. She probably feels sorry for you. All these thoughts were going through my head. And the worst thing was with this anxiety is that I couldn't escape my head. I couldn't put those thoughts to rest. I couldn't get out of that mental funk I was in. I just couldn't. And I was putting this burden of expectations on me to perform so well in things I was doing. And there was one event that stands out to me that really exponentially rose my anxiety and my self-worth in myself, because I was judging other people's opinions of me, of how I was, and that really degraded my mental health. And it was like this one girl I didn't even know told me I was nothing and that I shouldn't be with my girlfriend because she deserves someone much better, and I was ugly, this, that, and the other. And that ruined me. From someone I let someone say something like that to me. I didn't even know them. But that's really a projection on themselves and how they are. Didn't even know this person, and I let them get to me. And I shouldn't have. And the anxiety was always there. Because, as I mentioned earlier on, when my father passed away, it planted the seeds of this doubt in my head. But I thought the seeds were doubt. But it wasn't, it was a fear. It was the fear of loss that I never fully took into consideration. It was a fear that if someone went from my life, I wouldn't be able to cope. Breakup or death, I wouldn't be able to cope. And it was that fear of wanting to control everything was what was creating this anxiety. It was a fear of wanting things to be a certain way. Not an OCD kind of way. or a perfectionist kind of way, but the way you want things to be controlled because you felt so controlless in a situation that caused quite a traumatic experience. You don't want that happening to you again. So you do everything in your power to create some sort of comfort. But what you fear ends up becoming real if you don't know how to control it. And that fear of loss carried on into my relationship. And the reason why I was becoming so anxious was because I had a scarcity mindset. That if I lost her, everything would be gone. I wouldn't know who I'd be anymore. And even though I went to counselling from time to time, I didn't feel like it was helping because I wasn't looking at the problem head on. And that problem was what was going on inside my mind. The thoughts, the fears, the inner critic. What's going on with you in your head? How are you talking to yourself? How is your ego? Those are things I never looked at. And all of this accumulated, like all this anxiety, this worry, these panic attacks out of nowhere accumulated into my final year of college. Now, things were bad enough, but after, because I had to go into this sort of exam for 10 weeks. It's like a placement exam. I won't go too much into it, but I wasn't doing very good because my anxiety was at me. Because what I was fearing that I wasn't good enough was translating into my work. Whenever a professional in that area came in to see me, they're like, "You're not doing good. You're not doing good." Because what I was fearing, I was creating. And that fueled the anxiety more. That fueled the anxiety tenfold. And I'll never forget it. There were 2 weeks I had off to recuperate because everyone had 2 weeks off. And I went home to my family. And before the times where I visited them, I'd be in absolute floods of tears. Because what was it? Anxiety. I wasn't sleeping. I was just finding everything so hard to do. Was losing motivation for working out and everything. Running. Constant anxiety in my body. I was always tense. To others, they say, "Are you okay?" It's like, yeah, I'm grand, lads, I'm grand. But it was getting to a stage where I just couldn't cope with it any longer. And I thought the best thing to do was to take myself out of this world. So in those 2 weeks I went home to my family. And I was in absolute agony in my body. I was agony personified. My head, my thoughts, I couldn't control them. Did I like the look of myself? No, I didn't. Things were getting too hard for me. I wasn't wallowing in self-pity. It was everything in this world was just becoming overwhelming. And I couldn't cope with that. I couldn't. And this is when 13 Reasons Why was around. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. And even my nephew at the time, who was 3, was like, "Uncle, you guys just stop being a silly boy, stop crying." I know it's like, oh, you just, crying is crying. He's probably told to stop crying, but like, I think to myself, it's much more than that. Like, I was crying, I was anxious going to bed. I didn't want anyone to be around me. I just wanted to be by myself. I was just so restless. So I went up to Dublin one of the days again, back to my house, and went on a night out with my friends. And what happened then? Had a few drinks. I was feeling buzzed. Then the sadness came around. I was like, look, I'm back in a few. Just heading off for some air. Yeah, grand, no worries, no worries. So sad. And we're in a place called Dicey's in Dublin. Good nightclub, would recommend. Pints can be cheap, €2 some of the days. Well, drinks in general could be €2, depending on the day, the promotion that's on. And I went down to this place called Portobello, near Rathmines, and there's a bridge. And I was just at the bridge. I'm about to jump off. I was about to jump off. You know, put everything to rest. No more thoughts. You know, everyone would be better off without me. I'm being too much of a burden on everyone. Why should I care? Or, like, you know, I'm not gonna be around anymore. Easy peasy for everyone. Everyone getting their life just fine. What am I to say? What am I to do? To them, I'm just a nobody. And that was going through my head at the time. And what happened was, I was about to do it. I had stopped myself. Like, something just stopped me. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was some divine intervention from a different dimension. I don't know if it was like a moment of clarity. You know, because it's post, not clarity. I don't know what it was. Even though I wasn't none at the time, just doing that for a comedic reference. But it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you going to commit self-deletion? Why are you doing it for? I was like, are you too... Like this internal monologue that was going on. I was like, are you too weak to face yourself? And I was like, one memory of our family is already passed away. Do you think that you want to lose another one? What about your nephew? Going to be able to watch him grow? No. Will you be around for your sister to get married? No, you won't be. Will you be around for your other sister getting married and having other kids? No. Will you be around for your mother's birthday? No, you won't. It's like, if you do this, you're going to be affecting everyone else around you. And, you know, as selfish as it sounds like, that's not fair. So I just stopped myself. I was on the phone to my friend at the time. I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. Like, where are you? He's like, where are you? Don't hang up the phone. Do not hang up the phone. So I sat down by a little dock area for the boats. I just sat down. I started crying. They came over to me. It's like, I'm so sorry, man. It's like, my mind is gone. I can't do it. I just don't want to be here anymore. I just find it so hard. And then he's like, look, I'm here to talk. And I talked to him and I felt a bit better. And when I decided I'm going over our time for this now, I won't keep this going on for too much longer. But after that, it was like, I can't stop. I have to stop being like this. I have to stop being like this, and I have to get better. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can help themselves is you. Other people can support you, but you have to put in the groundwork to keep yourself going, to keep yourself alive. So I ended up going counselling for ages afterwards. And I realised, as I said earlier on, what was really at me was that I want to control everything. I wanted to control the uncontrollable, and because I couldn't, that was making me anxious. Because I didn't get over the loss of my father, that was creating major anxiety too. So I didn't have anyone to talk to, and I still didn't accept it. I thought I put that to rest, but I obviously didn't. And within those, when was that? That was 2017, the year I graduated from college. 3 years. And since then, not to this day, but it's been in and around 3 years, two and a half to 3 years. And all I can say to you guys and girls, whoever listens to this, is that you have to put in the work. And that if you feel so shit that you can't carry on, please just talk to someone. Just talk to someone. If it's a friend, just let it out how you feel. I know it's hard and you might think you're a burden on another person, but trust me, please. You've got to try it. You've got to talk to someone. Excuse me. You've got to talk. I went to counselling for ages. I put in serious groundwork, and it wasn't fucking easy. I can tell you for a fact it's one of the toughest things I've ever had to do in this life. It took so feckin' long to get into a better state of mind, a better state of frame. Jesus Christ, was it tough. And there were times where I doubted myself, but you keep pushing forward. You keep pushing forward because, as all things considered, things pass. It's not a state of permanency. Things can be temporary. And I kept telling myself, it will pass. No matter how fucking tough it got, I said, it will pass. It will pass. And you've got to put in the work. And I know it's tough, but you've got to try. You've got to put one foot in front of the other, and what that begins with, getting out of the bed every day. If you get out of the bed every day, fair fucking juice to you. I don't care about the spread. If they want to demonetize me on YouTube, fuck that shit. Fair fucks to you. If you get out of the bed every morning, fair play. If you get out of the bed, eat your breakfast, and do something productive, fantastic. If you go and talk to someone, even fucking better. Because so many people find it hard to do it. But you've got to keep pushing yourself forward. One step at a time. Walk before you run. You can do this. You've got to believe in yourself. You have to trust in yourself and get the support you need. Whether it's going to a professional, talking to friends, whatever the case may be. Do the work, and you can do it. As tough as it is, keep pushing forward. One step in front of the other, walk. Walk first, and keep on walking. And if you want to run, start running. But take your time. It's not an easy process. I put a year into it. 2 years even, at that, to get into a fully functional state of mind. Or I don't feel as anxious anymore. I don't feel depressed. Or I don't feel like taking myself out. Maybe for a nice meal. But that's about it. You can't let yourself be the obstacle. Life is meant to be worth living. You have friends who love you, who you don't think they love you. They love you. You have family who loves you. There are people there who want to listen to what you say. They want to help, because one self-deletion is one too many. You are stronger than you think. As a human, you are stronger than you might believe. Any person who can dust themselves off and keep going when they've fallen, that's a winner in my books. You can do this. And if you want to talk to me at all, send me a fucking VM, a DM on Instagram, or even email me, for Christ's sake. I want to hear your story. I want you to talk to me. Because I want to help you. So the takeaway from this really long video is this, folks. If you're depressed, if you have the big sadness, if you find it hard to be alive every day, don't give up. Keep pushing forward. Keep going and get the help you need. And stay strong. It's going to be tough, but you will get through this. And I have faith in you.